Autobots, roll out!
Review Bros back with yet another review in the form of the pre-workout by AP Sports Regimen, the sister company of Alpha Prime, sponsors of the Olympia. So do check out all their gear, guys, it's awesome stuff. But today we're going to be getting into the pre-workout, covering that taste, price, label and effects. So stay tuned. And if you are new here, guys, we really do genuinely appreciate if you can hit that subscribe button and tick the bell icon. And if you wouldn't mind liking the video, it really does help us out. Cheers, guys. Okay, so taste segment, guys, comes in 3 flavours and we were lucky enough to have all of them. So the one we have is Candy Blast, also comes in Green Apple Rancher and Watermelon Pop, and they are all very nice. But for the sake of this review, I'm going to be putting up a little video here of me tasting and mixing the Candy Blast flavour, which I actually thought was very, very nice. Our favourite flavour of all of them. So we give this one a 9 out of 10. The other two were around the 8 to 9 region themselves. So we're going to go with an overall score of 9 out of 10 for the flavour system, and actually it mixed very well as well, so absolutely no complaints on the flavour front. Solid stuff, guys. Moving on, let's talk about the price. So to get hold of this product, you're going to go to alphaprimeusa.com, where you'll find this 24 serving tub for $45. Now that works out to be $1.87 per serving, so quite expensive. But remember, that is with no discount codes whatsoever, so you're bound to find this cheaper if you do shop around. And I can tell you that does come to a 4.5 on our price scale. So like I said, a little bit more on the pricier side, but that is going for the full whack price off the official website. There is talk of them getting a distributor over here in the UK for this product, so stay tuned for that, guys. But for a straight translation from US to UK pounds, it would work out to be £36.33p for this big, nice, shiny tub, which would work out to be £1.51 per serving. And actually, whilst I'm on that subject, it did miss a 5 out of 10 by 1p. So it's worth bearing that in mind. But let's get into the label and effects and see what this product's really all about. Okay, label time. So we've got an 11 gram serving size, which I would say is a little bit below average, but still solid. Okay, so first up, we've got a couple of B vitamins, you know, general health ingredients. Always nice to see it in a pre-workout, so no complaints there. So the first one we got here is the Regimen Pump and Nitric Oxide Matrix of 7 grams. So first up, we've got L-citrine at 3 grams, which is the lowest end of clinical, but still clinical, so you know, that's decent. That's the amino acid that's going to help bump up nitric oxide levels in the bloodstream, therefore increasing pumps, nutrient delivery, blood flow, all that good stuff. Moving on, we've got beta-alanine at 1600 milligrams, which is exactly half the clinical dose that we normally see. Therefore, you shouldn't really feel the itchy, tingly sensation at that dose. But nonetheless, the real reason it's in here is for its endurance benefits, where it buffers lactic acid and just helps you get a few more reps, essentially. Anyway, moving on, we've got betaine anhydrous, which is trimethylglycine at 850 milligrams. Now, what I will say, guys, what we normally do see is anything from 1.5 grams to 2.5 grams for this ingredient. So I would say, again, that this is roughly half of what we would like to see. But this ingredient helps with general athletic performance, power output, strength and pumps. Moving on, we've got L-arginine alpha-ketoglutarate 2:1 at 850 milligrams. We normally like to see this dosed around 3 grams. So again, this is definitely on the lower end of dosing. So we'll have to see if this has any effect in training. Now, this is essentially the salt of arginine. So we find it's helpful with contractions, pumps, strength, and should actually tie in quite nicely with the other ingredients in this blend. Finishing off this matrix, we've got nitrosogene, which is bonded inositol stabilized arginine silicate, which is a fancy way for saying that it's L-arginine that's got a bond to it, so it's more efficient, basically lasts longer in the bloodstream, but it's going to also boost nitric oxide levels, working alongside that L-citrulline to promote pumps. And 700 milligrams is a decent dose. You can take up to 1.5 grams a day, but 700 is definitely enough to get things moving. Then we move into the next blend, which is the Regimen Energy and Focus Matrix, made up of 1 gram total. So we've got taurine up first at 600 milligrams. That is on the lower side of dosing. Again, we normally see this anything from 1 gram to 2 grams, but 600 milligrams, you know, it should still have some effect. It's basically an amino acid that has it's a bit of a jack of all trades. It helps with energy production within the body, has some cognitive benefits, and helps with pumps as well, hydration. Then we've got the main daddy stim, caffeine and anhydrous at 275 milligrams, which is roughly 3 cups of coffee worth. That's obviously the main stimulant that's going to give you a kick up the arse, wake you up and get you moving in the gym. Then we have alpha GPC, which is arguably the best form of choline, so that's a nice touch. However, what I will say, 100 milligrams is on the lower side of dosing. We normally like to see around the 300 milligram mark. However, it should still have some effect, but this is going to help boost mood, focus, concentration, coordination, memory, all that stuff. So we do like that ingredient. And then we've got a bit of an oddball, which is the amino acid L-glycine at only 22 milligrams, which what I will say is that is a super low dose. In fact, it's almost worth disregarding that ingredient. In studies, we like to see it at least 1 gram upwards per day. But that's just a general overall health ingredient, you know, lots of benefits to it. Is there any need for it in a pre-workout? Who knows? Wrapping off this label, we've got Rowolfia vomitoria extract at 3 milligrams. Now, this ingredient does actually contain the chemical yohimbine. I'm sure you're familiar with that. That sometimes can cause the sort of dribbly, cold sweats, jitters, all those sorts of feelings. However, this specific ingredient is meant to help with lower blood pressure, as well as a whole host of health benefits, really. So I'll have to see if this does carry the negative effects of yohimbine. There is no digestion aid in this product, so we'll have to see if that holds it back. Overall, you know, the label is covering every area that you'd want in a pre-workout, but a lot of it is underdosed, so we'll have to see if that actually affects it in reality. Let's talk effects. Right, so first of all, what I will say is if we was rating the label, you know, with the underdosing and whatnot, we'd probably give it like a 4 or 5 out of 10. So I'll be very honest and admit that. I would even go as far as to say that you could get away with 2 scooping it, you know, using 2 servings and then bumping all of those doses up to clinical and beyond. And then I think it really would be a heavy hitting pre-workout. But we're not going to do that. We're going to go by the label suggestion, which is the 1 serving, which is what I've covered in the label. Right, so as you know, in the effects section, we rate products on how they actually come together in reality, in training, when you're physically in the gym, you know, how they actually work. So first off, we start with the beta-alanine. At that 1600 milligram dose, you feel a bit of heating sensation, but you don't feel the crazy itchy tingle sensation. So obviously, if you don't like beta-alanine, you'll be fine with this product. If you do like beta-alanine, then you're going to miss it in this to a degree. After the beta-alanine, you get the nice surge of energy from that 275 milligrams of caffeine. You know, it's enough to sort of get you woke, get you moving. It's not too much that it blows your head off or gives you extreme heart rate or jitters. Nothing crazy like that. How I would describe this pre-workout is it kind of feels like a nootropic with good pumps. Now, what I mean by that is you feel very much switched on and productive in the zone. You know, you just want to get things done. It hits you to a very sweet spot, nice level. Now we move on to pumps, which I would say is actually probably the strongest element of this pre-workout, because you've got the L-citrulline, AAKG and nitrosogene all working together to boost those nitric oxide levels, and you really do feel that. You know, you see your veins swelling, you feel the deep contractions, you do get nice pumps with this product. Definitely, there's no denying that whatsoever. And I would say sitting just behind those pumps is that focus, and then just behind that is the energy. There are no negative side effects, you know, no cold sweat, jitters, you're not going to be kept up all night, no appetite suppression, nothing like that whatsoever. So that's why I say it's a very nice beginner pre-workout, entry level, people just starting out with pre-workouts, this would be perfect for you. You know, it's not overdosed, it's not going to blow your head off. I would even say it's okay for some intermediate people, or people that just don't want too many stims in their system, or a stim sensitive. But I would say it still sits solidly above the likes of C4 and Curse and, you know, your kind of everyday averagey pre-workouts. And actually, I do think you do feel a little bit of the yohimbine effects from that Rowolfia vomitoria extract, if I didn't butcher that. You do feel the very slight kind of, you know the alpha yo feel. You do feel that at a very low level, like you do know it's in here. But like I'm talking like 1 out of 10 on the feels. And it actually works in conjunction with that caffeine very nicely to keep you energized and woke through your training session and beyond. And on that note, I will also add there is no crash for this product at all. So taking all of that into consideration, the fact there's no negatives, the pumps are actually really good, and the focus is just behind that, and the energy is just behind that, we're actually going to go with a 7 out of 10 overall for this product. Like I said before, it does perform better than the label looks, and I really do think that if you took 2 servings of this, it would be a force to be reckoned with. But 7 out of 10 as is, guys. So if it suits you, check it out. Okay, final verdict on this pre-workout by AP Sports Regimen. We start off with the taste segment. Came in 3 flavours. We had all 3 of them. They all tasted great. We actually gave it a 9 out of 10 overall on the flavouring system. You know, very nice flavours, so good job on that one, guys. Moving into the price, it came to a 4.5 on our price scale, missing the 5 by 1p, but like I said before, shop around, I'm sure you can get hold of it cheaper, definitely. And then finishing off with the effects section, we actually landed on a nice solid 7 out of 10. You know, it definitely performed better than the label looked. We would say it's an entry-level pre-workout for beginners. Even intermediate people would be okay with this one, guys. So do give it a look. And that gives us a total score of 20.5 out of 30. Coming down mainly in the price segment, but like I said, look around and you can alleviate that to a degree. Thanks for checking in for this one, guys. Let us know your thoughts on this product down in the comment section. Is it something you're interested in? Anything else you want to see us review? All the usual stuff. And as always, stay stimmed.
You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Everything you do, I can't seem to get enough. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Touching on your body feels like taking on a drug. You got me